Hey guys, it's Thomas here. Hope you're doing well. Today, that pic's gone forever. I thought I would fire up some cameras and give you a studio tour, show you some of my favorite gear and how I've set some of this stuff up as well, maybe including the stream side of things as well. So the first thing we're going to need is some full lighting. Let's just get rid of these mood lights. Now you're looking at me, looking at you. How does that work? Anyway, I've never done a studio tour before. Let's move cables out of the way. So those light panels that I was just talking about are these guys. Really, really cool. Full RGB. I have a couple of those and they're really cool for just adding like a bit of a vibe on the top down. This is the other light that I use. I really like that honeycomb grid. That seems to soften things down, and a couple of fill lights and little lights on the pedal board and stuff. Before we start geeking out, if you haven't seen the latest lesson on School of McRock, it's all about playing over chord progressions. Check this out.
Playing over chord progressions. Is there a science to it or not? What's my approach? What do I do when I get stuck and I feel like my lines are no longer working over the chords? Well, that's what we're going to check out today. We're going to start off super simple in A minor, playing some basic minor and major chords, but then we're going to quickly establish note choices and rhythmic phrases that work best with the different chords that we're going to jam over. And I've got to be honest, there was a lot of eye-openers for me in this lesson, just identifying how I approach different scenarios and situations with different chords and how that affects what I'm about to play over the top of them. And in part 2 of today's lesson, we kick it up a gear and start to introduce some really, really pretty and very nice sounding chords with a lot of dissonance in them. But as you'll see in the lesson, suddenly, well, the approaches that we were using in part 1, they definitely don't apply. It's me trying things and then stopping and then breaking down and showing you all the things that I really like. And that way you get some fun licks, I explain some new techniques, and of course, we try the chord progressions and different approaches to playing over the top of them. Let's get started. I'll see you on the inside. Let's go.
All right, let's start with what's on the desk. The monitors that I'm using are Focal Solo Bs. I've been using those for a couple of years and they seem really, really accurate. This is always on the desk. A lot of the time it's here. And what that is it's a Stream Deck. I think this is the XL version by the guys at Elgato. And I'm using quite a few Elgato products, and I'm using Ecamm for the streaming software, so it's just really, really cool to be able to push any button like that, and we can go to all the different cameras. And, you know, we can do really, really fun actions like, I don't know, like a thanks explosion for when people smash the like button, glitch effects. I have like tons of things, and this is just for one setup. You can have pages upon pages. It's an awesome product, so if you do anything with streaming, the Stream Deck is amazing. But this is really, really cool. I obviously play a lot of guitar, and a lot of the time when you are performing, you don't want to reach out and push buttons. So they have this new product here, which is, it's a product that goes on the floor, but check this out. If I push the middle button, for example, it starts a stinger and then it goes to the closed guitar cam. Push the left button, and it's so awesome just to do that. And it's a nice way of like transitioning between all the main scenes or camera angles that I use. So that is like my new favorite thing for the stream. That is great. Audio interface wise, I'm using the Quantum 2626 by PreSonus. That is really, really, really low latency, and that's why I like it so much. For the microphone, I'm using this Shure SLX system. It's completely overkill for what I need. I'm literally sat like 3 to 5 feet away from it, and this thing is like for arenas and stuff. But it's really cool. You can see like battery levels, signal, and all that stuff. It's based on RF. My first experience with Shure RF systems was when I did the Dragon Force tour, and it was just absolutely just bomb-proof in any situation. Just above the desk, I don't really have a huge amount of acoustic treatment in here. Obviously we have like the curtains, which are like covering that entire wall. I have these new Elgato panels, which are just really, I love the look of them. They're really cool. And they are multi-layered foam, and they've done a really nice job of just dampening a lot of the standing frequencies in this room. So I wasn't really excited by having just standard panels on the wall, and I think they look really cool. I actually have a bunch of them under the desk as well, which serves as a little bit of a cable hider, because trust me, there's a lot of cables behind there that you don't want to see. Moving over to this setup, this is the iMac. The door that I use is Ableton, and you know, we could go absolutely crazy on this, and I actually have done a lot of members only videos, but typically this setup is running all my Neural DSP plugins. I am all about using as many signal chains as possible, and you can see down there I even have like a little stack of overdrive pedals just for certain Neural DSP plugins. A little controller keyboard. Ableton Push is right here as well. And then I have an iPad on the side of the desk, which is handy for like monitoring and stuff like that. I have this set up with Ableton Live, which runs all of the audio, like the background music, into the stream. So this guy would typically come out, and then I'd be able to mix the background music as it goes out. I'm using this Mac Mini M1 with a CalDigit TS3 with about 5 different Elgato capture cards, mostly HD60 pluses with a couple of Camlink 4Ks as well. I think I'm using about 5 of those guys. And the reason for that is we have a bunch of different cameras, including this camera, which is on a motorized slider, and the head kind of tilts around as well. So it's really nice, just subtle vibe. I like it. And then this guy is what we use for the guitar close-ups. It's a zoom lens. So if I go to that, for example, you can zoom all the way in and out. And the cool thing is it's like a fixed aperture lens, so the light doesn't change as we zoom in and out. So that's really handy. I've got one of my favorite cubes here. Have we got any fellow cubers? I actually shouldn't really even consider myself a cuber. I can solve it, but not in a sub 40 second, 50 second sort of thing. I'm still a complete noob. Moving on to the pedals. Well, I guess starting right at the top, that is the Audience is Listening plaque that Steve Vai presented me when I did the video for the Audience is Listening. Had that for a long time, but you know, nice bit of nostalgia there. And then we have some of my pedals, which I like to keep around. It's always good to like just have pedals. I have like a pedal cabinet for pedals which are not out of the boxes yet, but all that stuff's in a separate room. So these are the pedals that I've either used or tried or just like to have around. Been using some of the Eventide stuff recently, always good. I use a lot of the software versions of these pedals, so sometimes nice to have a hardware version of them. Dimension C, oh, one of the best choruses ever. But if you like choruses, actually this little mini analog chorus, it's mono, but that's actually really cool as well. The pedals that I actually have in use are mostly overdrive pedals. So the reason I have 4 different overdrive pedals on the floor over here is I just like having different vibes going into my plugins as a separate audio chain. So this cable here goes out around the back into the audio interface, but it feeds from the pedal board over there. When I change to this preset, for example, you'll see on the Quad Cortex it says drives, and that sends the audio to the drive pedal and then over here into the door. Now that is where I use the Fortin Cali. So I'm using the Fortin Cali as a platform amp for the overdrive pedals. You can get my preset pack, which is just presets made to take overdrive pedals really well. Before we get into the guitar wall, maybe we should check out the actual pedal board. First of all, we've got a GoPro 10 on the pedal board, and everybody on the stream, they really like to see close-ups of the pedals when I'm playing, and that's so much fun because I can share exactly what's going on. The first thing is, the Quad Cortex. This is kind of the heart of everything, this runs everything, and you can see from all the audio coming and going, that I'm really pushing this thing to the limit. So if I did a show, I would be happy to just use this by itself, and I probably wouldn't bring anything else, to be honest. But as we do like a lot of live streaming and it's a lot of like interaction stuff, I kind of like, you know, all right, let's turn the octaver on, and it's a Boss OC5, a great octaver. It's always good to like have a hardware tuner and stuff like that. But then I have two of my favorite pedals that really help with some of my tones. So for example, the Bogner Hollow is an amazing compressor pedal. And then I like to have the precision drive as well. But I have used the neural capture to capture an actual precision drive, and that works very well. So again, if I start, you know, traveling around the world, I probably wouldn't bring this stuff. I would just stick with everything in the quad, in the Quad Cortex. But the Live Logic is really cool because that allows me to change things up that's going on in my DAW. So if I want like a different reverb or a glitch or a special effect, that's exactly what that does. Been using the RC600 a lot on the streams recently, and that is absolutely incredible. I love that. I still haven't got like more than 5% out of it, you know, I'm barely scratching the surface, but it's a really cool looper. And I really like my SY200. Obviously I did the Boss video for the SY1 and the SY200. And these are great. If you want to see the full in and out, you know, every little geeky bit of breakdown of this pedal board and audio setup, I have a bunch of members only videos on the channel as well. So consider becoming a channel member and you can get all that stuff. Getting all of the guitars, or at least a good portion of them, off the floor and onto the wall, it kind of changed the vibe a huge amount, and it's made so much difference. I'm more inspired to pick them up off the wall now. The guys that's made all of this possible, which I never thought would be able to get all my favorite headless guitars on the wall as well, is a company called String Swing. I don't know if you can see their logo on there, but yeah, String Swing. I'll put their link in the description. They make guitar hangers in various styles. So for example, this one here, quite flush to the wall, which is great. And then they do other ones where you can kind of pull them out and angle them and twist them however you like. And of course they do stands for headless guitars, which is absolutely fantastic because, you know, headless is my it's my main type of guitar that I play, so it would be a bit of a shame if I couldn't get them on the wall. Yeah, String Swing, amazing company, lovely guys, and they actually do some brilliant stands. I would really like to get a replacement for this Hercules stand by String Swing because their stands just look so amazing. Let's have a little look at some of the guitars on the wall. So starting off with the LNG, the classic 80s Ibanez gem, and then the legendary Floral has been hacked up by Steve Vai. If you haven't seen the video on that, full videos on that. The McRocklin Gem, which is an interesting guitar underneath. There's a video on that as well. The Slam Gem, full-size gem body, shaved down a little bit. So if you see that side by side, the body is actually a little bit smaller. And then this is the gem that I use for the 90s Steve Vai advert with Ibanez. A recent addition is this Faith Acoustic, which is absolutely incredible. It's got a Fishman preamp on there, sounds great. Couple of guitars I've had for a long time, the Steve Ray Vaughan Strat custom thin pink Les Paul. And then onto my headless guitars. I'll start with the Leia, the Osiris's, two Osiris's, the HD, and the Zeus, and Type X, which is a Shred Club guitar, if there ever was one. But all of these main guitars that I use are using the Fishman Fluence pickups. And this is a guitar that was the very first guitar that I converted to having Fishman pickups. So this is just an Ibanez RG6, one of their limited edition ones. But I put classics in there. Once I equipped this guitar with Fishmans, that was it. It was game over. It was like every other pickup just didn't have a look in. This RG is really cool because this was originally HSH with passive pickups as well. And as you can see, I've converted this one to Fishman Fluence, but also there's a guy in Japan called, I think Odovision, who made a couple of these wooden custom scratch plates, and I think they look really cool. So that is the guitar that I used for New Beginnings actually. That guitar pretty much did the entire EP, apart from the track called Storms, where the rhythm was done on this RGD. And that's the Bling guitar there, the Kiesel Delos. Oh, this is another guitar that I absolutely love to play. Fishman 5-way switch on there. HSS Fishman pickups, got the battery pack on the back. It's really, really cool. And that Victory amp that I told you about earlier, there she is. There she is, along with some splashes of color from Blackstar. Over here, I have just a charging sort of corner where all the stuff that's kind of off camera, and if I want to come and just grab a USB-C cable to charge some lights, for example, that's, you know, that little area. Some of the other guitars on this rack here are Strandberg, very nice. My Kiesel bass, my old Loudon acoustic. Man, I've had this thing for so long. Huge tone. Literally had this thing since like the early 90s. And then the Zeus acoustic, this thing is just the tear maker, as it's nicknamed on the streams. And then finally, I have a desk for like all the stuff that's not really in use right now, but I want to put into use. So for example, I want to do some lives on Instagram with my phone, but I want direct audio, so I've got a Lightning audio interface. This Boss, the EV1 WL, this is amazing. It's a Bluetooth wireless controller, so all of your Neural DSP plugins, the expression pedals can be controlled with this guy. This is definitely going back into use. I just need to reorganize a couple of things on the board, but that's definitely coming back. We've got more tweaks and fun things coming, but right now, it feels like a really inspiring, fun place to make music, content, and also live stream. So there we go, guys. I think that about covers it. Cameras are mostly Sony cams with various lenses. This screen is used for chat and monitoring on the live streams. And yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know. And hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys soon. All right, thanks everybody. Cheers. Bye.